Prepare yourself for exciting confrontation with an ancient evil army. You are at the controls. The fate of throngs of suffering people held hostage by the brutal king's troops await freedom by Trojan. You manipulate the controls, creating movement of Trojan's protective armored shield and the wielding of a shining sword. Filled with relentless energy and determination, you muster courage, embarking on the challenge of invading the enemy's territory to rescue the captives from the army of the evil empire. This is Trojan, folks, from Capcom, also released in 1987, just like Section Z, which we looked at yesterday, also known as Tatakai no Banka, which translates to something that is not Trojan. Requiem for Battle, I believe. Side-scrolling action game, originally produced by Capcom and originally released as an arcade game in 1986. The arcade version was published by Romstar and is included in the Capcom Classics Collection, Volume 1 for PlayStation 2 and Xbox, just like Section Z. A home version was made during the same year. The ZX Spectrum version was programmed by Clive Townsend for Elite Systems in 1987 for their Durrell publishing line of games, but it was never released. And a ROM has since been leaked from a collection of Townsend's ZX Microdrive disc files, so all you ZX Spectrum fans can finally play Trojan. Set in a post-apocalyptic future during the aftermath of a nuclear war, we take control of a warrior who is hired to defeat the gang of an evil dictator. The hero is armed with a sword and shield, but also has been trained in martial arts. The arcade version can be played up to 2 players alternating. The game controls consist of an 8-way joystick and 2 action buttons, similar to Kung Fu Master or Russian Attack. The player jumps by holding the joystick up instead of have a dedicated jump button like other side-scrolling action games. Instead, one action button is used to swing your sword, and the other is to hold the shield to block enemy attacks, including projectiles, such as throwing knives and arrows. The shield can be held towards the player while standing or crouching, as well as upwards, vertically, and diagonally. Some enemies will throw magic balls, which will cause the player to lose their sword and shield if they block. During these instances, the player will fight barehanded with the sword and shield buttons used to punch and kick. The sword and shield will later appear on screen as a pickup at some point, allowing you to recover your weapon. Other player power-ups, include floating hearts that will restore your health, and jumping spots, where the player can jump higher than usual. The game consists of 6 stages, where the player will face the usual series of small fry enemies, as well as a sub-boss in the middle of each stage, and a boss at the end. We are allowed to start the game at any of the 6 stages, however the player must play through the entire game again after defeating the final boss, Achilles, in order to see the true ending, just like Ghosts and Goblins. The player can continue after a game over depending on the dip switch settings, which, what you gonna do? The NES version features several significant changes to the game, such as the addition of 2 new power-ups and hidden rooms, as well as an alternate versus mode, where 2 players compete against each other in a best 2 out of 3 duel, making it Capcom's first attempt in the fighting game genre. Player 1 controls the main character, while Player 2 controls the enemy Trojan, whose abilities are identical to the main character. While the version in Capcom Classics Collection Volume 1 is a direct emulation of the original arcade game, it also allows the option to assign one of the action buttons for jumping, in addition to use the direction pad or analog stick. What can I tell you about Trojan? The box art's really weird. Dude's got some eyes on him, viewers. It's not a bad game. It's pretty solid, kind of hard, but good. There is a Let's Play of it. Going to be floating around somewhere. I haven't got it uploaded back yet, but keep your eyes out for it. It's not too bad. I'll give it a try sometime.